Have you ever noticed that when you speak in your native language, words just flow effortlessly? You don't think about grammar. You don't translate. You just speak. But when you try to speak English, suddenly everything slows down. You pause, translate in your head, worry about mistakes, and by the time you're ready to speak, the moment has passed. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Every English learner goes through that phase, the translation trap. Today, I'm going to show you how I broke free from it, how I started to think directly in English, and how you can do the same so you can speak English like you think. Welcome back to the channel. If you've ever wondered why your English sounds slow or unnatural even though you know the words, this video will change the way you learn forever. Because here's the truth. Fluency isn't just about knowing vocabulary. It's about training your brain to process English automatically. Let's start by understanding what's really happening in your mind when you speak English. Why you can't speak English naturally yet. When you speak in your native language, your brain moves through 3 simple steps. You have a thought. You find the words. You speak. It all happens in less than a second, completely automatic. But when you speak English, the process looks more like this. You have a thought in your native language. You translate it into English. You worry about grammar. You speak. That extra translation step is what slows everything down. It's like having a delay in your brain. You know what you want to say, but your words get stuck halfway. The good news is you can train your brain to skip the translation step to start thinking directly in English. And when you do, you'll sound more natural, confident, and fluent. I'm going to show you how I did it step by step. Step 1. Stop translating everything. The first step is simple but powerful. Stop translating. That might sound impossible at first, but it's easier than you think. Here's why translation slows you down. Your brain has to jump between 2 systems, your native language and English. Every word, sentence, or idea has to be converted. That's a slow and tiring process. Instead, start connecting English directly to meaning, not to your native language. For example, when you see an apple, don't think, "Oh, that's an apple, we call it seb or manzana or tau in my language." Just think apple. When you feel tired, don't think, "How do I say tired in English?" Just think, "I'm tired." This might seem small, but it's huge. You're rewiring your brain to use English as a thinking tool, not as a translation. And you can practice this anywhere, when you're walking, cooking, reading signs, or scrolling online. Just name things in English. Blue shirt, hot tea, loud music, beautiful sunset. Those micro moments are training your brain to switch languages automatically. Step 2. Create an English environment around you. The fastest way to start thinking in English is to surround yourself with it. If your brain hears and sees English constantly, it begins to treat it as normal. That's how children learn. They don't memorize rules. They absorb language from their environment. Here's how you can create that environment, even if you live in a non-English speaking country. Change your phone's language to English. Every time you read settings or notifications, you're getting passive exposure. Watch English content daily, YouTube videos, short clips, podcasts, anything you enjoy. But here's the trick. Choose topics you genuinely like. The more you enjoy the content, the easier your brain learns. Label things around your room. Write small sticky notes. Mirror, door, desk, window. When you see them every day, your brain starts connecting English to real objects naturally. You're teaching your mind that English is part of your world, not something separate that you only use in class. When I did this, something amazing happened. After a few weeks, I noticed I was thinking small sentences in English like, "I need to charge my phone," or, "What should I eat for dinner?" That's when I knew the process was working. Step 3. Practice inner speaking, your secret superpower. This step is my personal favorite, and it changed everything for me. It's called inner speaking. the practice of talking to yourself in your mind in English. We all talk to ourselves silently throughout the day when we plan, decide, or imagine. The trick is to do that in English. Let's say you're about to go out. Instead of thinking, "Where are my keys?" in your native language, think it in English. "Where are my keys?" When you're hungry, think, "What should I cook today?" When you're planning tomorrow, think, "I have a meeting at 10 a.m., then lunch with a friend." First it feels strange, but after a few days it becomes automatic. You're training your inner voice to use English. And once your inner voice starts thinking in English, speaking out loud becomes effortless. That's how native-like fluency is built, from the inside out. Here's a small daily challenge. Spend just 5 minutes each day narrating your actions in English silently. For example, I'm brushing my teeth. I'm making coffee. I'm reading a message. Simple, but incredibly powerful. Step 4. Practice short thinking sessions. Another exercise that helped me a lot is what I call thinking sessions. Set aside 10 minutes a day to think only in English. You don't need to speak or write, just think. Choose a topic like, what did I do today? What will I do tomorrow? What would I do if I won $1 million? Then think through your answers in English. First, your thoughts might come slowly. You might struggle to find words. That's okay, don't translate. Just describe with what you know. For example, if you can't remember the word refrigerator, say the thing that keeps food cold. That's how your brain learns to think around missing words, just like native speakers do. Over time, you'll start forming complete thoughts in English faster and smoother. I used to do this every night before bed, thinking about my day entirely in English. Within a month, my fluency improved without even speaking much. Step 5. Use English to learn other things. Here's a secret most learners don't realize. The moment you start using English to learn something else, you become fluent faster. Why? Because you're training your brain to process information directly in English, not just about English. For example, watch a tutorial in English about cooking, design, or photography. Read an article about a topic you love, in English. Watch a motivational video or a short documentary. When you do this, your brain stops seeing English as a subject and starts seeing it as a tool for life. I started watching self-improvement videos and tech reviews in English. First, I used subtitles. Then after a few weeks, I didn't need them. That immersion helped me think in English while learning about things I loved. This is one of the most powerful ways to make English part of your lifestyle. Step 6. Speak before you're ready. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is waiting until they feel ready to speak. But the truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. You don't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You learn by getting into the water. The same goes for English. The moment you start speaking, even if you make mistakes, you're training your brain to connect thoughts with words automatically. That's how fluency is born. You don't need a partner to start speaking. You can record yourself, talk to your mirror, or use tools like ChatGPT to have real conversations. For example, type, "Let's have a conversation about travel. Please correct my grammar and make my responses more natural." That simple daily practice can do more for your fluency than months of memorizing grammar rules. When I first started speaking regularly, even short 5-minute self-conversations, my fluency skyrocketed. As I wasn't learning anymore, I was using. Step 7. Learn words in context, not in isolation. Thinking in English means your brain recognizes phrases, not individual words. So instead of memorizing lists, focus on chunks, common word combinations that native speakers use. For example, don't learn make and decision separately. Learn make a decision, not take and care. Learn take care, not look and forward. Learn look forward to. These are called collocations. They make your speech sound natural and automatic. ChatGPT can help you here too. Ask it, give me 10 common English phrases I can use every day. Or, teach me 5 collocations with the word time. Then, practice using those in sentences or short conversations. When you think in phrases, not words, your fluency increases dramatically because your brain starts processing language in ready-made blocks, just like native speakers. Step 8. Simplify your thoughts. Many learners try to translate complex thoughts into English, and that's where they get stuck. You don't need complicated grammar to express yourself clearly. Even native speakers use simple sentences most of the time. Instead of thinking, I wish I had had the opportunity to attend the event, but unfortunately, I was unable to do so due to prior commitments. You can say, I wanted to go to the event, but I was busy. Both sentences mean the same thing, but one is easy, direct, and natural. When you think in simple English, your brain can keep up with your thoughts. Once you're comfortable with simplicity, fluency grows. Later, you can add complexity naturally. Remember, fluency is clarity, not complexity. Step 9. Build confidence through repetition. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. Comes from familiarity. The more you repeat common patterns, the more automatic they become. For example, practice saying sentences like, I'm not sure, but I think. In my opinion. Could you please tell me? That's interesting. Tell me more. These are natural conversational phrases you can reuse everywhere. When you repeat them often, they flow out of your mouth without thinking. That's what it means to speak English like you think. I used to pick one short phrase each day and use it 5 times in different sentences. By the end of the week, I had mastered 7 phrases without even realizing it. Small steps repeated daily lead to massive confidence. Step 10. Accept mistakes as part of fluency. You can't think freely if you're afraid of being wrong. The biggest enemy of natural English is fear of mistakes. Here's the truth. Native speakers make mistakes too. Small grammar slips, mispronunciations, unfinished sentences. But they keep speaking. That's what you must do too. When you make mistakes, your brain learns faster. Each error is a correction opportunity. The moment you stop caring about being perfect, your fluency accelerates. Remember, fluency is not speaking perfectly. It's speaking comfortably. And comfort only comes through practice, not perfection. Step 11. Use ChatGPT to train thinking fluency. Let me share how I use ChatGPT specifically to train my English thinking. Every morning, I spend about 10 minutes chatting in English. Sometimes I tell it, let's talk about my morning routine. Other times I say, ask me 5 random questions like a friend. The key is to keep your brain active, responding in English, forming thoughts, getting feedback. If I don't know how to express something, I ask, how can I say this more naturally? ChatGPT explains, rewrites, and teaches me better ways to express my ideas. You can even say, let's pretend you're my English-speaking friend, and we're talking about movies. You're not just typing. You're thinking and responding in English, real practice without judgment. Over time, your brain stops pausing. You don't think about English, you think in English. Step 12. Train your mind daily. A simple routine. Let's put all this into a simple daily plan you can follow starting today. Morning 5 minutes. Describe your morning actions in English. I'm making breakfast. I'm washing my face. I'm getting ready. Afternoon 10 minutes. Have a short English chat with ChatGPT or yourself. Talk about something you did, something you learned, or something you plan to do. Evening 5 minutes. Think in English before bed. Reflect on your day silently. What went well today? What will I do tomorrow? That's just 20 minutes total. But if you do it every day, your brain begins to live in English. After a few weeks, you'll notice the difference. Your thoughts will start coming out in English automatically. When I first started learning English, I was terrified to speak. I'd rehearse sentences in my head, worry about grammar, and freeze when someone talked to me. But once I focused on thinking in English instead of translating, everything changed. I didn't have to search for words anymore. They just appeared naturally. I stopped studying English and started using it. Now, whether I'm talking to friends, reading, or writing, English feels like a second skin. And that's the goal for you too. Not to memorize, but to internalize. To reach a point where English isn't something you study, but something you live. If you take one message from this video, let it be this. English fluency is not about how much you know, it's about how you train your brain to use what you know. Your brain can't think in two languages at once. So, train it to stay in English mode as often as possible. Think in English. Dream in English. Speak in English. Make mistakes, learn, repeat. And soon speaking English will feel as natural as thinking itself. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and share it with your friends who are learning English too. And if you want more videos on how to speak English naturally without stress or fear, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Remember, the goal isn't just to speak English. It's to speak English like you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.